Welcome, adventurer, to this brand new YouTube channel and brand new adventure that we are going on. I'm excited about it, and here we are. So thank you for watching. For those who don't know me, hi, my name's AJ, and I, despite having made content online for probably about 12 years now. I honestly don't know how long I've been making content, but it's been a fairly long time at this point. Despite all of that, I still have times where I'm anxious and unsure about how this is going to go, and this is very much one of those times where I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to try something new. So welcome to this brand new YouTube channel. The aim of this, I spend a lot of time just wanting to unwind after my day or just relax, you know. So the aim of this is to give hopefully some of you something to chill out with and relax and watch after a long day, or maybe if you are looking to get ready to go to sleep, or if you just want something to put on in the background. You know, sometimes it's nice, I think, just to have some background noise and something to kind of watch and just switch off to. So that's kind of the idea of this channel. There are going to be loads of videos that are around kind of just chilled out stuff, some of it just kind of chatty videos, as I quite like, and find it very therapeutic to kind of sit and just talk to the camera. So some of the videos are going to be like that. Some of them are going to be more structured kind of videos, kind of like this one, I guess. Some of them are going to be like food related ones. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. So if you haven't already, please make sure that you hit subscribe and maybe press that bell. I've been out of the YouTube game for a little bit. I have other YouTube channels, but I haven't made videos for a while. Does pressing the bell, I'm going to say press the bell, just tap on that bell and good things I'm sure will happen to make sure that you don't miss any uploads. And when we do post videos, which hopefully will be quite regularly, so I'm hoping that we can make some good content and help each other out. I guess I can maybe help you just chill or have something to watch in the background, and you can give me this outlet so I can have my therapeutic rambling sessions that are going to help me too. Does that sound like a fair deal? How about that? So I thought to kick off this this brand new channel, and something I've never done before is kind of a relaxing style of content. We would start with a little get to know each other, right? It's the first video on the channel. I feel like it's a good time to maybe get to know each other. So here we are, and I thought what better way to sort of do that than to do a bit of a Q&A. So I asked on my Twitch stream, because if you don't know, I stream on Twitch as well, quite a lot. You can follow my Twitch channel. My link's in the description, so you can check that out, or just search for Adventures of AJ and you'll find me on all of my social media and all of Twitch. I asked some of my viewers on there to submit some questions, and I asked on social media for people to submit questions, and on my Discord as well. And I had a whole bunch of questions in, most of them which I haven't looked through yet, so we're going to look through them together and hope for the best, I think, is what I will say. I know that some of my viewers are interesting and approach the questions from an interesting perspective, so I can only imagine what kind of things are waiting for us. But hey, I like to think that I'm a pretty open book, and I'm just happy to sit down and have a chat with you. So we're going to do some questions, a little bit of a Q&A. I've got the questions on my phone, so I can just scroll through and we can answer some of them. And I guess let's see how this goes. And if you hear, by the way, I've got my window open at the moment because it's a fairly nice sunny day here in the UK. So if you hear any noises in the background, then I apologise. Maybe you'll hear like a plane go past or birds or something. Hopefully it won't be too distracting. We'll see. Fingers crossed. It should be fine. And yeah, let's get stuck into the questions. So they were all submitted anonymously, so I don't know who's asked what, and I don't know if I should be worried about that or not. But the first question says, what is something new that you tried during your lockdown with COVID that normally you wouldn't have tried? That's a good question. I think for me, the biggest thing, which we kind of already just touched on, was that I started streaming on Twitch, which honestly, without having that long period of time in lockdown where we just kind of were chilling at home, I really don't think I would have branched out and tried Twitch. I was so previously like loved being busy and loved just being able to like get up and go, and you know, especially living in London and that kind of thing, my life was very like go go go, which I think is often the case, that you know, when you're a young professional trying to kind of make it in the world, that was kind of what my life was like. So I definitely think that stepping back and you know, staying home and being safe definitely gave me that time to reflect a little bit, and that bit of extra time to just kind of sit and chill, and it's through that I kind of started to get into Twitch. I think I've always been really big on YouTube, and I've always been very immersed in the YouTube community, and I've known loads of creators, and I've had the pleasure of working with so many wonderful creators and making loads of amazing content, not only for my own channel but for other people's channels, for my friends' channels, for my business things that I do as well. So that's always been really cool. But now getting into more of the Twitch side of it and seeing how that kind of thing works has been a completely different kettle of fish, honestly, and it's very different, but in kind of the best way. Like it's so nice. There are so many wonderful communities of people, and I think there's something about Twitch that really can't be rivaled. So definitely something that I normally wouldn't have done in lockdown is starting Twitch. I think other than that, definitely taking more time for reflection. Like I said, I think having that time to kind of just sit with your thoughts and just, you know, take a step back and press the pause button has been something I've never been that good at doing. So the opportunity to do that is definitely a bonus. That was definitely something that was positive that I didn't think would have come out of the situation. I guess, and just time to relax, time to play some games and just talk to friends online and just hang out. One of the biggest things I learned was definitely that time that you spend enjoying and time that you spend doing things that you love is not time wasted. You know, I think that speaks for whether you enjoy gaming or whatever it is that you enjoy doing, watching YouTube videos, that kind of thing. As long as you're enjoying it and you're you know, not hurting anybody, that's not time wasted. That, you know, I think that's super important. So I definitely have found more time, as I think everybody has, you know, to just be able to do some things that I enjoy, which luckily for me, I definitely enjoy, like spending time at home. I'm a very homebody anyway. I like sort of, you know, I guess I'm a bit of an introvert, so I definitely like spending time on my own and just hanging out, whether it's watching videos or making content or, as I said, playing games, that kind of thing. So yeah, I guess I've done more of that in lockdown, which has been interesting. So there you go. The next question says, would you rather fight a single duck-sized horse? Oh no, I'm sorry, I read it wrong. Would you rather fight a single horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? What a question. Thank you for submitting this. I feel like this is one of the age-old questions that in any Q&A, this just comes up like, where did this question originate? Who first came up with this question? Because y'all be tripping out here. I don't know what's really going on, but would I fight a single horse-sized duck, so a massive duck, or would I fight 100 duck-sized horses? I think the first, not to get all like I don't know, silly about it, but the first thing I'd say is that if I was in the opportunity, I'm not a fighter, I am a lover through and through. So if I had to fight I would choose I choose peace and love. I choose hugs and not fighting. So I would try and make peace with whether it was the single horse-sized duck or whether it was the 100 duck-sized horses. I would try and be friends first and foremost. I would approach the situation from peace and harmony, you know, and see how we get with that. If all of that does fail, I think a horse-sized duck would be pretty scary. So, and I'm quite scared easily by a lot of stuff. So I don't know if I really like the idea of going up against a massive duck, the size of a horse. And I feel like 100 duck-sized horses would be pretty cute. They'd be like tiny little ponies that would just kind of be running around on the floor. And that kind of sounds cute to me. I kind of feel like I'd made, but 100 of them is a lot. I feel like 100 is like a whole field's worth of duck-sized horses. So, I don't know. I guess I'd try my luck with 100 duck-sized horses. How about you? Which would you rather go for? I guess, let me know in the comments. Is that what YouTubers do? Is that what I'm supposed to say? I didn't write any notes, so I don't. I think that's what you're supposed to say. Let us know in the comments below. Love that. Thank you for your question, though. That was funny. Okay. Next question says, follow me back on Twitter. I would love to follow you back on Twitter. Unfortunately, these questions are all anonymous, so I don't know who was asked the question, but maybe let me know who you are, and I can follow you back on Twitter for sure. I told you, I haven't read through most of these questions, so I have no idea what's going to come up on these, but that is, yeah, for sure. Next question says, what is your guilty pleasure? This is a tough one. Guilty pleasure. I mean, I like to be pretty kind of, I stand by the things that I do, and I'm very, like, not ashamed of pretty much anything. So I think, for me, I don't do that many things I would consider a guilty pleasure. I think definitely for me, food is sometimes an indulgence, depending on what it is. I think definitely, like, fast food in particular. Those of you who already know, I'm a big fan of like chicken nuggets. I like a pizza for sure. I like chips all day, every day. I can never get enough. So definitely a guilty pleasure for me is like just a nice meal of something like that. I have a huge sweet tooth as well. I don't really like drink alcohol or that kind of thing very much. So for me, instead of alcohol, to be honest, do you know what I really like on a Friday afternoon or over the weekend, instead, you know, where a lot of people might like want to go down the pub or like crack open a cold beer. For me, honestly, one of my pleasures is just to get a nice glass, fill it up with ice, and pour in some soda of like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, not Spon, for the record, but hey, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, if you want to sponsor me, I'm open to discussions. But for me, just having a soda is like a nice ice cold glass of soda is like kind of the best thing that I can enjoy. I don't know if that's a guilty pleasure, because I don't know if I have much guilt about doing it. I just kind of enjoy it, and I'm not sorry about it. Is that allowed? I don't know. I guess that's one of them. But definitely fast food is another guilty pleasure. So I guess, yeah, that makes two, right? Both of them food and drink related things, but there you go. Thank you for your question. The next one says, what is your favourite thing about yourself? Wow, that's a tough question. What is my favourite thing about myself? I think, I mean, like anybody, there are a lot of things that I don't like about myself. I feel like that's completely normal. But there are definitely some things that I do like about myself, for sure. I think one of the things that I like the most, without, you're asking the question, so I feel like I'm allowed to talk about it, and without sounding big-headed, because that's not the intention. But I definitely consider myself, like I said, I'm an introvert. If I had the choice between going out on like a big night out versus kind of just staying in and being low-key, I always choose that. If we're being brutally honest, like if I have the choice to either walk down a corridor full of people that I like am acquaintances with, or walk down a corridor with nobody on my own, I'm probably going to choose the corridor on my own. I'm not going to lie to you. Like if I can avoid, I don't know, awkward social interaction, then I normally do. Sorry, not sorry. If you ever see me in the hallway, by the way, you can say hi. I won't ignore you. But I tend to gravitate to more sort of introverted, tendencies. But I do think because of my background and because of my jobs that I've had, and just the way that I was brought up, I was always put in situations which were very public. Like, I've always done quite a lot of public speaking. I've always, made content for the last like 12 years. I've always done a lot of like presentations, and I've been very fortunate to be put in positions, especially by my job, where I've been on live television. I've done news which has been broadcast to millions of people. I've been on huge stages in front of thousands of people. Being in front of audiences, and whether that's virtually through a camera or on stage, or or physically in the room, I've been in a lot of those situations. So despite being an introvert, one of my favorite things about myself is that I've learned how to adapt and how to kind of be an extroverted introvert, and learn how to be okay with being in front of an audience and being able to talk and to put my point across, and to remain kind of, as much as possible, at least on the surface, kind of calm and chilled, and to just enjoy the moment of being in that environment with so many people. So I know that public speaking and that kind of thing for a lot of people is something that they absolutely despise and want to shy away from, but for me, definitely one of my the things I like most about myself is that I've built up this kind of ability to be an extroverted introvert when it matters and when I've needed to, and I enjoy it in some way. Like, I guess making videos and content, like I do enjoy it. So that's one of my favorite things. Thank you for your question. I appreciate that. The next one, let's find some more. Next one says, have you ever been scammed while traveling? Ever been scammed while traveling? So I travel a lot. I mean, my name is AdventuresofAJ, which kind of was born out of the idea of going on adventures. I love traveling. I've been very lucky to travel all over the world so far, and have still a whole load of places that I want to go, but I definitely travel multiple times a year, with the exception of obviously during the COVID global pandemic. I was lucky, in fact, just before traveling, or just before going into lockdown, to have spent the year before traveling to pretty much a new place every month, at least, and going to wonderful places over in the Americas, in Europe, all over the world. And I don't know if I've ever been scammed directly. I've never so far, touch wood, like, it's unfortunately in big cities, it's very, very common that, you can be the subject to certain things. I like to think I have my wits about me, but definitely, I'm sure at some point I will fall foul of it. I think I've never been directly scammed or pickpocketed or that kind of thing. I think the closest that I can say to that, I guess, is that maybe if I've been at like a certain place, like a tourist attraction, I've given in and I've bought like one of the really extortionately expensive souvenirs, or maybe like when you go to like the tourist attraction, like food and drink places, I will happily, like, if I'm there at a place, like if I'm at the Eiffel Tower or if I'm like in Times Square, I'm gonna spend some extra money to buy something that I enjoy in that moment, like whether it's food or drink. I really value experiences. So hey, if I'm gonna spend $5-6 on a nice like big drink or some candy or something, then sure, I'm gonna do that. Is that scamming? I don't know. There's a loud bike, I don't know if you heard that. So yeah, I don't know. Does that count? That doesn't really count as scamming, but like, sure, I will spend money if it means I can get a positive experience and enjoy it, even if that means I've slightly been scammed. But other than that, thankfully, luckily, so far, no. So thank you for your question. The next question says, what have you done throughout lockdown to keep yourself busy and entertained? I mean, I think, as I talked about, I've kind of covered it. I spent a lot of time playing games, a lot of time just chilling and watching content and relaxing, and just taking time for myself, really, which has been really cool. I've managed to plow through a whole bunch of games that I'd never played before, that had always been on my list of games to try, which is cool. And just had a good time, you know, try to make the best of it, right? Where is the next place you want to travel to, somebody says? That's a good question. I think there are certain places that I've already been to that I want to go back to and that I always return to. For me, places in America are on that list. So New York, Connecticut, around that kind of area. Florida, the kind of Orlando down to Miami area, I always want to go back to. California, LA is, you know, somewhere that I, you know, really enjoy going to. Equally on this side of the pond, I try to go to Spain at least once every year. I love going to the Costa del Sol, is where I've been for the last couple of Decembers, sometimes over the Christmas period. So definitely, I think one of the places I want to go back to first is probably the Costa del Sol in Spain. I think definitely Marbella and Malaga I really enjoy going to. Just beautiful, almost year-round sun, and just lovely people. I love Spanish people. I love the food that you get over there. I love the atmosphere, the weather, everything about it. I'm so super excited. I'm very sad that I didn't get to go to Spain last December, but hopefully this year I'll get there sometime. So I think then definitely I go to the US at least once a year. So I think I have so many friends and family scattered over the US that I definitely will be back there before I know it, probably sooner rather than later. And then there are a whole bunch of places that I want to go to that I've never been to before. So I'm kind of ticking my way through that list of places that I've never been. It's fair to say though that list is very long, so I guess I'll work through it slowly. I don't know, maybe we'll film some videos of some of the adventures. That would be cool. But thank you for your question. So the next question says, knowing about your limited experience with food, which for those who don't know, I'm a little bit selective when it comes to certain foods. Whoever's asked this question certainly knows me very well. Whoops, I just dropped my phone. Certainly knows me very well to know, knowing your limited experience of food. What was the food that you'd never had before, but was so glad that you tried and you have now incorporated into your diet? Oh, that's a good question. What is a food that I've tried that I've enjoyed and been glad and have now incorporated into my diet? I think one of the foods that I never ate as a child and then recently, kind of in the last like 5 years maybe, ate was pineapple. Turns out pineapple is really tasty. I love fruit and I love vegetables, even though I'm like a selective eater. I love a good fruit and I love veg, and pineapple for me was one that I don't know why, I just kind of never had it as a child, but definitely as an adult I discovered pineapple. I don't think I liked it at first because it can be quite watery and, you know, it can be a strange texture, but I'm so glad I like it now because I love pineapple. I will eat it all the time, whether it's in like rings or little chunks or my favorite, absolute favorite is pineapple fingers, like strips of pineapple. Love it. Get yourself some fresh pineapple, get yourself a pineapple thing. It's just the best. So definitely pineapple is one of them. Also nuts. I never had nuts as a child and have incorporated them into my diet. They're a good source of fat and a good filler if you're like coming back from the gym or if you're like looking for a snack. A good old handful of nuts will definitely see you through. So does that answer your question? I think that gives you a couple of answers, right? I didn't mean to make it rude, I'm sorry. Thank you for your question though. The next question says, if you could adopt any animal as a pet, what would you adopt? And for me, hands down, a dog. I know that is obviously the generic answer, but for me, I am basically counting down the days until I can adopt a dog. And also get dogs from shelters, not breeders. I fully see it in my future. I will have a dog. I grew up with a wonderful German Shepherd and have loved dogs for as long as I can remember. Sometimes I like dogs, dare I say, more than some people. Going back to that introverted thing, I guess. But for me, definitely, I don't even discriminate, you know? I like those big dogs. I like those small dogs. I like medium dogs. I don't mind what kind of dog it is. If I can just find a dog in a shelter and fall in love and find it a good home, I will be happy as anything. So definitely for me, I would adopt a dog, and I plan to at some point in the future. Next question says, what is your favourite cartoon? That's a good question. I don't spend that much time watching cartoons. I don't really spend that much time watching any TV, to be honest. TV is not something I've ever really been that into. I used to work in television, so obviously I was involved with it quite a lot then, and I think part of that is like when you work doing something, it kind of puts you off of it a little bit and makes you not able to enjoy it as much, and I think TV was definitely that way for me. So I don't really watch a whole load of cartoons. Definitely growing up I did. I've seen like a whole bunch of like Futurama. I loved growing up like SpongeBob SquarePants, which I'm still a big fan of. I think for me though, the big one throughout my childhood and then growing up was The Simpsons. I think that was, for me, was my favourite cartoon. I know it's like quite a generic, quite non-original answer. I was never that really into like Family Guy or some of the other ones like that, American Dad, that kind of thing I was never that into. Equally, I haven't yet ever really got into anime and watching that kind of thing too much, so maybe in the future I would like to explore that kind of thing, but for me it was always on TV. My dad used to watch it a lot, my parents enjoyed it, and would just sit me down in front of The Simpsons, so I'd probably say my favourite cartoon was The Simpsons. Even to this day I enjoy it. I've watched a little bit of like Rick and Morty, but not that much Rick and Morty, so maybe I should, I don't know, maybe I should watch some more Rick and Morty. Maybe that would become one of my favourites. But thank you for your question. More questions. Some of these are long. Some of them are repeats as well. This one says, you have helped me during moments of lockdown to just feel happy when nothing else was doing that for me. So thank you. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. What is something that has kept you optimistic and happy during this time? And honestly, I mean, above and beyond what I've said about, just being able to relax and take a step back, I think being able to make other people happy has been really cool, and just being able to spend time hanging out with people, whether it's friends online and being able to make time to just spend with friends, or family, talking to family overseas, or being able to FaceTime or Zoom with them, down to making new friends and talking to people online. Definitely one of my favorite, something that's kept me optimistic and happy is that I've been able to meet and chat to so many wonderful people. So thank you for that's super kind of you to say, and you absolutely didn't need to, but the feeling is mutual, I guess. You equally have given me optimism and happiness, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. The next question says, what is the most irresistible thing a person can do or say to you? Wow, that's a tough one. What is the most irresistible thing a person can do or say to you? I think for me, I really value people who are kind of on the same level as me in kind of just like being quite chilled out. Like, I like to think I'm a pretty laid back kind of guy, and just like to kind of chill and vibe. And I think if I see somebody else who is kind of on that, just kind of goes with the flow, is pretty laid back, and is happy to just play things by ear, and just see where the wind takes you. For me, that is super attractive, and I definitely think, I'm so go with the flow and just don't mind, Equally, I mean, I have met and been with people that have liked to be more planning type and like to kind of stick to the status quo a bit more, and to be honest, I feel like if anything, that sometimes is not a bad thing, because that can kind of cancel out my go with the flow. We complement each other. Also, there is a car right outside. I'm sorry if you can hear it, but we'll push through it. But yeah, I don't know, that I guess sometimes the opposites attract, and that has been good to, in that sense. But definitely for me, if I can find someone else who's just kind of happy to go with the flow and just chill and be down for whatever, then that's super good. Equally, if I meet somebody and they are also into me, then definitely that is kind of irresistible. I don't know, if somebody is into me, I would happily go for that. So not someone giving me attention, not somebody showing me attention. Is that a silly answer? Does that make me sound sad and lonely? because I am. So inquire within. Thank you for your question, though. Let's find some more questions that are not about. I see the word Tom Holland popping up in multiple questions. I see Zac Efron's name popping up in questions. This one says, if you could sit on any celebrity's face... What an amazing opening to a question. Besides Zac Efron or Tom Holland, who would you grace with that privilege? What a question. If I could sit on any celebrity's face, wow. Is it? I mean, presumably it's very consensual, right? Because, you know, I encourage you to get consent for sitting on anybody's face, frankly. Also, probably don't sit on it too hard, because I feel like that sounds like pain. And if they haven't done anything to deserve that, like, and they're not into that, then, like, you probably want to be careful with that. But if I was going to sit on anybody's face, that is such a hard question. I would probably say, for lack of a better person, and because honestly I would love to sit on their face, it would be Ariana Grande. I said what I said. I would sit on her face. Trouble is, though, she's quite petite, right? She's quite small. So again, I would make sure my legs were on the floor, and that it was like, I don't know, kind of like a teabagging, but with the butt. And I would make sure it was consensual, and that we were all happy, and that it was a safe environment, maybe have some security on standby. And I would very gently lower myself onto a resting on the floor Ariana Grande, and would just press my cheeks onto her face and sit. And it would be wonderful. Everyone would enjoy it, everybody's happy, and yeah, that's who I would pick. What a question. Thank you so much for it. I appreciate it. And we will just move swiftly on from that one, I guess. We'll move swiftly on from that one. Any other questions and topics that we haven't really covered? Somebody said, can I get an hour? I mean, hour? Of course you can, for sure. There you go. You're welcome. Don't mention it. Happy to help. Where's somewhere you'd want to travel back to again, knowing what you know from your first time experience? Ooh. Where's somewhere you'd want to travel back to again? Is that like a place that I've been to, if I could travel back there for the first time? Or is it a moment in time that I could travel back to and do something different? Because I guess I'll answer both. If there was a moment in time that I could travel back to, knowing what I know from my first time experience of it, I would go back to one of my breakups with one of my exes, and the moment that we broke up, or the moments just before we broke up, and knowing what I know now, I would handle that situation a lot differently, to be honest. I feel like that is kind of a personal one, but that is definitely, if I could turn back the clock and go back and do things differently in that situation, I probably would. But equally, I understand that, you know, things play out the way that things play out, and sometimes it really do be like that. And you got to learn and grow and evolve past the difficult times, and just move on from things. So I'm doing that, but if I could go back, that would be kind of cool. But do you know what? No regrets, because equally at the same time, like, I am who I am now because of all the experiences I've had, right? So anyway, I don't think you meant that question in a deep way, so I don't know why I'm really taking it to that place. But we'll move on. And if I could travel somewhere for the first time again, knowing what I know now, that's a really tough question. I guess I would maybe say I went to Iceland for a long weekend one time. I hired a car and flew over to Iceland, and on on my own went on like a driving road trip around the golden circle of Iceland, and just packed up some bags and went off into the mountains on my own. And it was super cold and icy, and I had the biggest jacket, and just went off and tried to see some of the sights and tried to kind of find some cool stuff in Iceland. I super enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite experiences ever. I had wonderful experiences where I went to so many incredible waterfalls and went to so many amazing landmarks and big craters. Going to Iceland is like going to another planet, basically, and I super enjoyed. That was one of my favorite ever holidays trips. But if I could go back again, I would want to just plan it out more, and I would want to just make sure that I could get to as many amazing things and find so many cool things, because I was only there for like 3 or 4 days. I was limited on time, right? And I would love to go back. I did so many amazing things while I was there. I got to swim through the fault line between the Europe and America continents. I snorkeled through that, which was just a once in a lifetime experience in freezing cold water as well. And to be able to do that, and then go and go to the Blue Lagoon, and to go in the hot outdoor sort of natural baths, the natural spas, was just a cool experience. But if I could go back, I would just try and like jam pack as much as I could into that experience, because it was super cool. But hopefully I'll get to go back, I think at least within the next 5-10 years, before sadly, global warming is really having an impact, and equally over tourism too is having a big impact on the landscape over there. But I would definitely like to go back, if I could do so, and for it to be sustainable. So that was, I guess, the lighter answer to your question, or slightly lighter. I kind of still made it a bit dark or deep with the with the global warming, but thank you for your question nonetheless. Let's just have a last look through and see if there are any other questions that we didn't really cover. Someone says, worst experience when meeting a famous YouTuber? That's a good question. That's a juicy one. So for those who don't know, I've had lots of experiences, as I said earlier, with meeting YouTubers and being in that community. I've been on YouTube for 12 years on various different channels, and was kind of involved with it when YouTube wasn't really a thing, and to be a YouTuber was kind of weird, and you were an outsider. And it was in a time when all of the big creators were kind of pretty small, and everybody knew everybody, especially in the UK community. Every creator knew every other creator, really, because there just weren't that many. And seeing the evolution of people, and people kind of growing up and finding their fame and doing that kind of thing and moving on and achieving amazing success has been really cool. But there have definitely been some opportunities and times where it's kind of been a shame to see how some people have progressed and changed in certain ways, and how the spotlight has changed them, I guess. So there definitely have been some less than good experiences. I'm super happy that the majority of people that I've had the pleasure of meeting, either from knowing from my past and my teenage years, or people that I've just watched and have met through the community and through the industry, most people have been super cool and wonderful, genuine, lovely people. They do say never meet your idols. There are 2 experiences. So there's one experience with some friends that I had a long time ago, and we all started off and were smaller YouTubers, and they grew up and became very, very successful, like famous name YouTubers. And there have been some sad times where unfortunately and I get it, they've grown and they've changed and they've wanted to sort of move on, but the distancing of that, and definitely some of the choices they've made have led to bad experiences. Even being in the same room as people that you used to be once very good friends with, where they now won't even look you in the eye because they don't feel like they need to, or they won't come and talk to you, is an interesting one. But you know what, I try and think past the negativity and kind of think peace and love, and they're doing them and they're doing what they think is best, and that is cool, even if it is a shame, because I'm all about keeping friendships open and just being chill. But full respect to them, you know, whatever they wanna live their lives how they want to live it, and they've been super successful. So I wish them all the best. And then for people I didn't know, I had the opportunity to hang out with some YouTubers that I had watched for like years and years and years, two American YouTubers who I'd known for so long, and I'd never met them before. I'd never spoken to them. I'd never interacted with them online, and I had the opportunity to go to this event. They were also going to be there. They were appearing at the event. I was kind of doing some stuff for the event, and we got a lot of time to sort of sit and just hang out in the same space backstage at this event in the green rooms. And we got chatting, which was super cool. You know, I've had a load of experiences where I've not only throughout my career met, you know, celebrities and YouTubers and that kind of thing, but been able to meet people that I admire and that I am inspired by. And these two definitely were two of those people that were just like, yeah, I would never call anybody like my YouTube idol, but these were people I really enjoyed watching and looked up to. And it was really interesting to get to meet them. Because for years I'd been watching a lot of their vlogs. They were people who would make content about their lives, and it was just them on camera. And it was really interesting to just sit down and see them being truly themselves. And we were in the same room for hours together, so it wasn't like we were talking all the time. There were times where they were just talking to each other, and we were eating and just chilling and watching TV and just kind of existing in the same space. And it was just really interesting to see how they interacted with each other and how they interacted with other people that came into the room, not necessarily me, but other people, and people who were helping with the event and working. And it kind of, I was just surprised that they weren't who I thought that they were, or I don't know, just the way that they were being when they were chilling was just not the perception of them that I had in my head. I'm very much the kind of person that I believe that everybody has a bad day. I've had so many encounters with people, and I've been with people who've then met fans or that kind of thing who've had bad experiences, and I'm fully aware that everybody can have bad days and everybody has times that they're just like not in the right mindset. So I truly believe when somebody meets a celebrity on the street or whatever and they're like, oh, that person was horrible, or they're a dick or whatever, I try not to buy into a lot of that, because I think even the nicest people, you know, if you met me on a super bad day when I was like going through some bad stuff and rushing and like just my head was all over the place, people might think I'm a bad person, or that I'm horrible or rude or whatever. So I truly believe that you can't judge people off like one experience of meeting them. But definitely, I don't know, spending a bit of time with those people in that room and just seeing what they were really vibing like. I could tell they were tired because they had just flown over from America to the UK, and that they were, you know, maybe a bit hungry and grouchy. But it made me sit back and think like, wow, you can watch somebody for a whole lot of time and like you still maybe really don't know them. Like, you just don't know what you see on the screen. It's not always, you know, the full picture, I guess. Especially when you're a YouTuber, you can kind of edit things down and you can kind of only show the bits that you want to show, and that kind of helped solidify that in my mind. So definitely that was, for me, that was one of my, I guess, worst experiences. It wasn't like the worst in the world, but I don't know, I stand by never meet your idols, because you never know what could happen. That said, there are loads of people I've met that I've loved. 95% of YouTubers and celebrities as well have been wonderful. Maybe I'll make a video on some of those experiences as well. Would you like that? Let me know if there's anything that you want to see, or if you want to hear me talk about. I've been lucky to have some wild experiences so far, and maybe one day I'll write a book about it. Just kidding. But in the meantime, I'll make YouTube videos on it for sure. Maybe that's coming soon. But thank you for your question. That was a long-winded answer, but I hope it answered it and was juicy enough for you. Let's see if we have any last questions. Guilty pleasure, ever been scammed while traveling? I'm just kind of looking over the stuff that we've gone through to make sure I didn't miss anything. What kind of animal would you adopt? Favorite cartoons. What's your favorite thing to do off stream? Honestly, just vegetate. Just sit and chill. I like to play games off stream. I like to order food off stream. I watch a load of YouTube videos. I'm obsessed with watching content. I watch so much stuff all the time. I just like to chill at home and vegetate, for sure. What made you want to start streaming? I think we've covered that. Just being at home, chilling, not having very much to do. So yeah, I think that covers most of the questions. I think I mean, a lot of them are, some of them are duplicates. Some of them are a little bit too spicy to read on a video. I feel like maybe I'll do another video one day where I do like more spicy questions, because there are some on there that I'm like, can I even talk about that? Are these even okay things to talk about? Because I don't know if they are, but maybe we'll save them for another time. So yeah, I think we'll call it there. I want to thank everybody who submitted a question from my stream or from social media or from Discord. Thank you so much. I would love to do another Q&A, so if you do have any other questions that are burning that I've maybe missed, you know what to do. Let me know. Put them in the comments. Maybe I'll reply to them on here, or maybe we'll do a follow-up video. I don't know. But anyway, I thought this was just a good idea, just to get the ball rolling and to get us started. And it's been a nice way to ease us into the channel. So if you enjoyed this, just hang out, chill session, just having a chat, then I'd love to do more of it. So make sure you hit subscribe, as I say, and there will be plenty more videos coming in the future. I don't even know some of the things that we're going to do yet, but we're going to figure it out together. So yeah, if there's anything in particular you'd like to see, you can let me know that as well. This is a two-way street. I'm here for you if you're here for me. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, not all the videos will be as long as this one, for the record. This was a long, spicy one, but I've enjoyed it, and it's been a good way to kick us off. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Don't forget to drink some water, take some time out for yourself to relax. Remember, you're wonderful. I believe in you, and take care. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.